Hi, welcome to my video on the review of the unit of derivative of trig functions, tan, cot, secant, cosecant. And as in all my reviews, you can treat it as a quiz, and this quiz could be marked at a 33. And when you get all your questions done, give yourself a score, total up each page, and you get it at a 33. And you can change it to percent by dividing denominator into numerator and moving your decimal 2 places to the right. Here we go. Let's do the review. d dx on tan x, that's the derivative of tan x, and the derivative of tan x is secant squared. Give yourself a mark if you have secant squared. d dx of cosecant x, the derivative is negative cot x cosecant x. And again, these are learned, memorized. Give yourself one mark if you have that answer. Number 3, prime is indicate this is the derivative of a product, and this is f and this is g, and the derivative is f prime g plus f g prime. So let's write down x squared derivative cot plus x squared and the cot of x doing the derivative. So the derivative of x squared is take the 2, multiply by 1, which is 2, decrease the power by 1. Cot x squared. Derivative of cot is negative cosecant squared x. And we simplify that. Now we have 2x cot x, and we have a negative x squared cosecant squared x. And there's 3 marks. So if you have that step, 1, 2, 3, total of 3. So if you have this answer, give yourself 3 marks. Number 4, y equals secant x over x cubed. And we want to find y prime, which is the derivative of y in simplest form. Well, this is an f and this is g, so that's the derivative, and the derivative is f prime g minus f g prime over g squared. So y prime is, we have f, which is the secant x derivative, times g, which is x cubed, subtract secant x, which is the f, times the x cubed derivative, all over g squared, so this x cubed being squared. So, and the derivative of secant x is tan x secant x, that you should have memorized. And we got secant x, derivative of x cubed is 3x squared. Again, 1 is right here. 1 times 3 is 3. Decrease the power by 1. All over x cubed squared product. So power of a power, we multiply, get to 6. And we said we had to simplify this. So if we simplify, we can take out, notice we have an x squared here. We have x is common and secant is common, so take out the x, so x squared. Secant x is common to both of these, so that gives us x tan x in the first one, minus, and we take that, so that gives us just an, take out the 3, so we have a 3 left. So x squared divided into x squared gives us 3, and secant divided by secant is 1. And that's over x squared. So we have this, I said I want to simplify it. So we got x squared secant x. Oh, I should have canceled that out there. Sorry about that, because I want to simplify it. So we got over x to the fourth. So again, there's I took out the x squared and secant x, and I canceled out the x squared. When you're dividing, you subtract exponents. So 6 subtract 2 is 4. And there's 4 marks. So let's go with 1 mark for that, 1 mark for that, 1 mark for that, and 1 mark for that. 4 altogether. And we have a total of 9 for that page. Hopefully everything is going well. Number 5. The derivative of d dx on 2y cubed tan x in factored form. So d dx is the derivative. So this is the f and this is the g. And so when we do the product rule, it's f prime g plus f g prime. And so this is f. So we have 2y cubed derivative tan x plus f is 2y cubed and the derivative of tan x. We continue, and so 2y cubed. So notice that is the d dx in terms of y. So pretend there's an x, so 2 times 3 is 6, and we get a y, and we get a square. But because we do the derivative of y in terms of x, we have to put a y prime. And 2y cubed, and the derivative of tan x is secant squared x. And we want it in factored form, so we have a 2, which is common factor. We have y squared, which is common, so 2y squared is common. So you take a common factor out of here. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Y squared divided by y cancels out. We get y prime tan x. And when we divide here, we get 2 divided by 2 is 1. Y cubed divided by y squared is y. And we have secant squared, and that's in factored form. Again, 1 mark for each step. And there's a total of 3. Number 6. Find the equation of the tangent to the line y equals 6 cot x at x equals pi over 4. So we have to do the equation of the tangent. So the equation of the tangent is the tangent. We have to get the slope of the derivative. So what happens that y prime is the slope of the tangent. So if y prime is the slope of the tangent, then y prime is 6 cot x. So let's do the derivative of y prime, which is the derivative of 6 cot. And so that gives us y prime. Derivative, that's a constant. So we just write down the constant. And the derivative of cot is negative cosecant squared x. And so that gives us negative 6 cosecant squared x. Now, pi over 4, you can deal with radians, but I like to deal with degrees. Pi over 4, pi is 180 divided by 4. So this is a 45. So if it's a 45 degree angle, and we draw our unit circle, who has a radius of 1, so this point here is 1, 0. So 45 degree rotation, go up 45, stop here, drop a perpendicular to the x-axis, this is a 45. So this hypotenuse is 1. So if we want that to be 1, then these two are equal. So that's 1 over root 2, which is root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. Or we could have done this. We could have had the unit circle, not the unit circle. So this is the unit circle whose radius is 1. What we could have done is put the hypotenuse as root 2 and the legs as 1 and 1 in the 45 right triangle. And so again, cosecant, this is 1, 1, this is root 2. So cosecant x is 1 over sine x. So that means cosecant squared is 1 over sine squared x. And so that's, if you deal with this one right here, sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So that's 1 over root 2 being squared. So that's 1 over 1 squared is 1, root 2 squared is 2. So that's the reciprocal of a half, which is 2. So we have negative 6, 2. Cosecant squared works out to be a 2, so that's negative 12. So that means the slope of the tangent is negative 12. Now, what we have to do is that x is pi over 4, and that's a 45 degrees. So we have to look at y equals cot x. So 6 cot 45. So if we use this one or we use this one, it makes no difference. The cot of 45, cot is adjacent over opposite, so that's a 1 over 1. So that's 6 times 1, which is 6. So that means we have the point that's pi over 4 and 6. So we have the slope of the tangent, we have the point that it's going through, so the equation is y equals mx plus b, and this is x and that's y, and that's the slope. So y is 6, the slope is negative 12, x is pi over 4, so that means we have the slope but we don't have the y-intercept, so 4 into 12 goes 3, so that's negative 3 pi plus b, so b is 6 plus 3 pi. So the equation of the tangent, y equals mx plus b, y equals, the slope is negative 12x, and b is 6 plus 3 pi. So there's the equation of the tangent. And this question has 9 marks, so I distribute the marks going through. If you have, this is 1 mark. If you have cosecant squared, that's 2 marks. If you have a negative 2 is another mark. Negative 12, that's 4 marks altogether. And if you have the 1, that's 5 marks, and it's 6 marks. You got the point, there's 7 marks, and you got the y-intercept is 6 plus 3 pi, and you got the equation, that's 9 marks altogether. Oop, I got 12 there, 9, only 9 on that page. Okay, hopefully everything is going well. Again, to get the equation of a tangent, you need the slope and the y-intercept, but to get the slope you have to use the derivative. Okay, let's continue, and we have one more question to do. And let's see, show that d dx on this product here, 1 plus cosecant x times tan x, this derivative is equal to 1 over 1 minus sine x. So this is f and g, and this is the product. So the product is f prime g plus f g prime. So that means we're going to go 1 plus cosecant x derivative times tan, which is g, and f is 1 plus cosecant x times the derivative of g, which is tan x g. Now, we do the derivative of 1. The derivative of 1 is 0. The derivative of cosecant is 1 cot x cosecant x times tan plus 1 plus cosecant x, and the derivative of tan is secant squared x. And we simplify this product, so tan x times cot x is reciprocals of each other, so it cancels out to give 1. So that's negative cosecant x. And when we multiply this one out, we have secant squared times 1 is secant squared, and we have cosecant x times secant squared x. And that means we want sine, we want no cos, or we don't want cosecant or secant, so we have to, let's change these. So this is negative 1 over, and that's sine x, the reciprocal of sine. Secant is, that's 1 over cos x, but it's squared, so it's 1 over cos times 1 over cos is 1 over cos squared. And we have cosecant is 1 over sine. And secant is 1 over cos squared. So notice I had to change all of these because we don't have cosecant or secant here at all, so change them to cos and sine. Now we have to multiply that, so this gives us, this first fraction is okay, second one is okay, but this one we have to multiply. We get sine x cos squared. Now that we have them changed to sine and cos, we have fractions together. To add fractions, we need a common denominator. So the LCD is, again, that's sine and cos squared, and there it is there. So the common denominator is sine x cos squared x. So that means we got a sine, so we have to multiply this fraction by cos x over cos x to get the common denominator of sine cos squared. We have a cos squared, we need a sine, so we got to multiply this fraction by sine x over sine x. And this is the common denominator, so we don't have to change this fraction at all. And when we multiply this out, we get a negative cos squared x over common denominators sine x cos squared x, and sine times 1 is sine, common denominator sine x cos squared x, and this one won't change. Now we have all fractions with the same denominator, so we add these up, and we have a 1 minus cos plus sine over the common denominator, which is sine x cos squared x. And we look back to here and we see that on the top we only have a 1. So that means and on the bottom we just have a 1 minus sign. So I see that 1 minus cos squared is sine squared. So we make that change. And again, you have to observe, because this is like doing identities, how to get to this point. So you might go one way and it won't work, then you got to go back and try it another way. But 1 minus cos squared is sine squared. And you notice that when I run out of space, what I did, I had an extra. So I rewrote this. I rewrote right this on the next page so I would have lots of room. So the next step here would be, I noticed that sine is a common factor on the top, so I'll take this sine out. So we get sine x cos squared x. And notice I took this sine out. That means it cancels out. So I get sine x plus 1 over cos squared x. Now, we look back at our question, and we got a 1 minus sine on the bottom. We got a cos, so we had to change the cos squared. So cos squared becomes, cos squared is 1 minus sine squared. And sine squared is factored. So sine x plus 1. And that's 1 plus sine x over 1 minus sine x. And sine plus 1 and 1 plus sine are the same. They're just, they're commutative, or they're the same. Sine plus 1 and 1 plus sine are the same, so we can cancel these out. 1, 1. So that's 1 over 1 minus sine. And let's go back. We have 12 marks for this question. So let's assign the marks. If you have it right, give yourself 12 marks. But if you don't, let's give yourself some extra marks as we go through. So 1 mark right here, 1 mark for canceling these out and multiplying. So it's 1 mark. If you get to step, that's 3 marks. 4 marks. If you multiply 5, and you got 6, and you get this step right here, you get multiplying, you get the LCDs, common, so that's a 7. And if you add these up, there's 8. And if you change 1 plus cos squared to sine squared, you get another mark. We keep going. And if you factor that and cancel out, you get another mark. So right here, you factored it, canceled it out, change your cos squared to 1 minus sine squared and cancel it out, and you should have your 12 marks altogether. Total up all the pages, and when you total up your pages, is that of, let's see if I can find the first sheet here. It's out of 33, and work out what percent you have, and hopefully you have a good score and you understand how to do the derivative of tan, cot, secant, and cosecant. Remember, in the previous videos we derived them, and you should memorize them. It makes them easier to get the working done if you have any problems. And again, like all rest of my videos, if you like my video, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. Visit my math website, www.mathfullyexplained.com, to find more information about me, my videos, and the content. That's the content on my YouTube channel called Math Fully Explained, just one word. Thank you for viewing my video. Hope the video helped you. Bye-bye.